Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I wanted to talk about the upcoming level 71 arcane weapons for all of the classes. Before we get started on the video, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Chxddy, who has actually donated $10 to my channel, so I really appreciate that. I would really appreciate it if you joined his Arcane hub for Discord. He hosts giveaways here regularly and also does his Arcane Legend trivia and tons of other cool stuff. So feel free to join that. That'll be pretty awesome. Now let's get right into the video. So firstly, we're going to be looking at the Ebon Glade Fortress of Resolve. This is the shield for warriors. It has pretty good stats: 344 DPS, 80 STR, 30 dex, 45 in, 350 armor, health and mana, and 555 health and mana, and 555 armor. Now what makes this weapon really good is that it can, when you take damage, it can actually summon and reflect a shield. This is an ability we never had before for a warrior character, so this is something that is really cool that it came for a warrior. They did come in as at one point, but it doesn't really count because it was nerfed. But I think this will be one of the better weapons for warriors, especially if it can take the damage and reflect it onto the mobs. It is a pretty good weapon, relatively comparable to the level 71, but I don't really personally think it's as good as the level 50 spirit weapons, but that is because this doesn't really require any leveling. But we'll have to see what the actual proc is like in terms of the power, to see whether we really need this or whether it is like crucial in parties or not. Now I'm gonna be reviewing all of the classes in order. So first warriors, then mage, then rogue at law, which is of course my class, and I'm gonna be recommending which ones I'd recommend. So this is something I definitely recommend. But when we look at the Ebon Glade Executioner of Resolve, which looks pretty cool, I guess, what it does is actually condemn targets, which basically means they slow the target, and they do less damage and take damage over time, which is also pretty cool. Now with this, it would also have to depend on how strong the proc is. Otherwise people aren't gonna really like this one that much. Now, not much to say about the stats. They are all pretty much around the same level as the level 50 spirits. Then we have the gun for mages. As you can see, it actually does look pretty cool. If I was a warrior, this is something if I was a mage, this is something I'd definitely lean toward. It does a lot of heavy damage and recovers health for you. This is very crucial for mages because they don't have a lot of shield, so health is pretty important for them, and they don't have a lot of health as well. So if you struggle with health, this will be something that to lean toward, especially because it does so much damage for single targets, of course. Now, looking at the Ebon Glade Scepter of Vision, I found the DPS on this to be surprisingly high. So this is something definitely to go toward if you're going for area of effect damage. Its proc is Swamp Surge, which means you recover health and mana while reflecting a proportion of incoming damage. So it's a less buffed version of what the warrior have, except you also get health and mana from it, whereas warriors don't get the health and mana, and they do the damage. Okay, lastly, now what I have been waiting for is basically the Ebon Glade Blades of Triumph. This is pretty cool. I'm actually gonna compare the stats. I know I talk about the spirit weapon quite a bit when I speak about this. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm gonna go into the auction and show you guys a side-by-side comparison of these two weapons. Now I'm gonna make sure that you can see the screen properly. Okay, you can. So if we go down to here, as you can see, stats at level 50 compared to stats here. Okay, just making sure you guys can see it very clearly. Okay, so as you can see, at level 50 for the spirits, you get 880 DPS. Here you get 870.4, which is slightly less, but you actually get 3 more decks here, and each deck adds about 2 DPS. So you kind of get like closer to this. Of course, the awakening is gonna make a huge difference, and you generally tend to, these other things, you do tend to have a bit more health and mana from the arcane ones compared to the spirit, but you have a more armor for spirits compared to the Ebon blades, the blades. Okay, now moving on to the final bow for rogues. This is 685.9 DPS, which is pretty high for a bow, I think. And all the stats are pretty good as well. We didn't talk about much about the proc, but what this proc does for the blade is Raptor's Vengeance Aura, which means when you attack enemies, it damages all nearby enemies. Now, personally, I don't know how I feel about this. I probably will prefer the Spirit Dagger, as it does the damage and you recover health, whereas this will only do damage. But we'll have to see how significant the damage is, and if your gear is good enough, maybe you don't need the extra help. So we'll definitely need to test this out in game before I give my informed decision. I'll make an upcoming video as well on it, so keep a lookout for what's going on there as well. Next, we have the Ebon Glade Bow of Time, of course, and it has Raptor's Lifestorm. It leeches health from afflicted target as they take heavy damage over time. So this is exactly what the proc is for pretty much a majority of the spirit weapons. Leeches health on the target, and they take damage over time, which is pretty much the gist for the spirit weapons as well. As you can see, root grows out, healing allies and damaging enemies. And so this is kind of the same thing, except written differently. But of course, this is only for, I think this might be only for afflicted target, which means target who are disorientated or affected in some way, not just general mobs. Anyway, that is all for this video. Once again, make sure you join the Discord group for Chxddy. You can join mine as well if you wish to, and the Arcane Legend community forum, where there are giveaways and engagement and discussions on Arcane Legend and trivia. All of the stuff happening all the time. All of the link can be found down in the description. Feel free to check it out. Leave a comment down in the description on what you think the prices might be for these weapons and how good they might be. I do think they're going to be coming out in the winter event, probably in the lock trade, and if we're really lucky and if STS is being really generous, it might be in the locked crate as well. I mean, as a drop from Brute, so we might be able to loot it, but I highly doubt that. I'd really like to be able to loot that, but I really don't know at this point. Now, other things I would like to say is thank you, Chxddy, for donating $10 to my channel. Really appreciate it. You can become a channel member if you wish to. There's a link in the description for donation, so feel free to check that out. You You can also join Patreon to help me out on a monthly basis. That is all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.